Your cat refuses to finish food at the bottom of the bowl. You assumed picky behavior, but the actual cause is whisker fatigue, a documented sensory condition affecting 41% of indoor cats. Cornell Feline Health Center confirmed this phenomenon in 2022 research that changed how veterinarians recommend feeding setup completely. Cat whiskers contain proprioceptors at their base, sensory receptors providing spatial awareness information to the brain. Each whisker connects to approximately 200 neurons, making them as sensitive as human fingertips. Constant stimulation of these receptors during feeding causes overstimulation similar to having someone repeatedly tap your face. The vibrissae system in cats includes mystacial whiskers on the muzzle, superciliary whiskers above the eyes, genal whiskers on the cheeks, and mandibular whiskers under the chin. All these whisker groups provide spatial information continuously. Touching any group repeatedly creates sensory fatigue measurable through behavioral observation. Dr. Catherine Lenox, board-certified veterinary nutritionist, documented whisker fatigue symptoms in 2021 research. Affected cats display specific behaviors: pawing food out of bowls, leaving food at bottom edges, eating off the floor, hesitation before approaching bowls, and increased vocalization at meal times. The Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery published 2021 research using shallow versus deep bowl comparisons. Cats consumed 23% more food from shallow bowls and ate 31% faster. The whisker-friendly setup eliminated stress signaling visible through ear position, tail movement, and post-meal grooming patterns. Bowl depth and diameter both affect whisker fatigue. The optimal bowl design has shallow depth under 3 cm and wide diameter exceeding 13 cm. Round shape with sloped edges allows whisker clearance during all feeding angles. Ceramic and stainless steel are preferred over plastic due to scent retention issues. Whisker length varies between cat breeds significantly. Maine Coons can develop whiskers up to 19 centimeters long. Persian and Himalayan cats have shorter whiskers averaging 6 to 8 centimeters. Whisker length should determine bowl dimensions, as longer whiskers require larger feeding surfaces to prevent contact stress. SPHYNX cats and Devon Rex have minimal or no whiskers due to genetic mutations affecting vibrissae development. These breeds do not experience whisker fatigue but compensate with enhanced touch sensitivity through their thin coats. The whisker-deficient breeds require modified care approaches in other sensory aspects. Carpal whiskers on cat front legs perform separate sensory functions. These lesser-known vibrissae sit on the back of the wrists and provide critical information during prey capture. They detect prey movement during the killing bite and help guide paw positioning when cats cannot see what they are holding. Pageat at Pherosynthese Institute documented that whisker stress correlates with pheromone signaling. Stressed cats experiencing whisker fatigue produce more F4 alarm pheromones, affecting other cats in the household. This creates compound stress in multi-cat homes when feeding setups cause whisker discomfort. Feeding behavior changes specifically indicate whisker fatigue presence. Watch for these signs: cat eats slowly with frequent breaks, pulls food onto floor before eating, eats only from center of bowl avoiding edges, shakes head during feeding, or displays reluctance to approach the bowl despite expressing hunger. Water bowl whisker fatigue is often overlooked but commonly causes dehydration in cats. Many cats refuse to drink from bowls that contact their whiskers. The solution involves shallow wide water dishes, ceramic fountains with surface flow design, or specifically designed whisker-friendly water vessels. Whisker regrowth occurs in approximately 6 to 8 weeks after damage or loss. Cats naturally shed and regrow individual whiskers throughout life. Trimming or cutting cat whiskers should never be done as this causes severe sensory deprivation, disorientation, and behavioral changes lasting until regrowth completes. Wet food feeding can mitigate whisker fatigue effects. The pâté or chunky textures spread across shallow plates eliminate whisker contact during eating. Dry food in deep bowls represents the highest whisker stress feeding setup. Switching to wet food often resolves apparent food aversion in affected cats. Multi-cat households experience compounded whisker fatigue issues. Cats experiencing feeding stress display aggression toward feeding stations, food guarding behaviors, and increased mealtime vocalization. Providing individual feeding stations with proper bowl design reduces tension and prevents stress-related medical conditions in multiple cat homes. Veterinary nutrition recommendations now include feeding setup assessment. The AVMA published 2022 guidelines explicitly recommending whisker-friendly bowls as part of standard feline care. Veterinary practices increasingly counsel owners on proper bowl selection during wellness examinations and behavior consultations. Whisker fatigue contributes to documented weight loss in some cats. When feeding becomes unpleasant due to sensory stress, cats reduce food intake. This can mask underlying medical conditions or appear as unexplained appetite loss. Bowl modification often resolves apparent appetite problems within 7 days of implementation. Senior cats over 12 years show increased whisker fatigue sensitivity. Age-related sensory changes amplify normal whisker stimulation into discomfort. Elderly cats benefit particularly from whisker-friendly feeding setups. The 2022 Cornell research documented 67% improvement in senior cat feeding behavior with appropriate bowl modifications. Whisker function extends beyond feeding contexts. Cats use whiskers to navigate dark spaces, determine if openings are wide enough for their body, detect air movement indicating prey or threats, and communicate emotional states through whisker positioning. Healthy whiskers are essential for normal feline function. Whisker positioning communicates feline emotional states. Forward-pointing whiskers indicate interest and alertness. Backward-pinned whiskers signal fear or aggression. Neutral position with sideways orientation suggests calm contentment. Reading whisker position provides reliable insight into cat mood and current emotional condition. Eye whiskers above the brows provide automatic eye protection. These short whiskers trigger blink reflexes when objects approach the face. Without functional brow whiskers, cats would suffer increased eye injuries from environmental contact. This protective function makes whisker preservation important for ocular health. Mandibular whiskers under the chin help detect prey location during the killing bite. These whiskers cannot be visually confirmed by the cat during this critical hunting moment. The proprioceptive feedback through chin whiskers guides accurate bite placement on prey neck regions for efficient predation. Behavioral training cannot eliminate whisker fatigue because it represents a physiological response, not learned behavior. Cats cannot overcome whisker stimulation discomfort through habituation. The only effective solution involves environmental modification through bowl selection and feeding setup adjustments to prevent contact stress entirely. Whisker fatigue research is relatively recent in veterinary science. Despite the symptoms being documented for decades, the underlying mechanism was only formally established between 2018 and 2022. Earlier veterinary recommendations did not address feeding setup, explaining why many older cats developed chronic behavioral issues related to whisker stress. Most owners never realize the eating problems they attribute to picky behavior actually reflect documented sensory distress. Your cat is not being difficult about food. Your cat is experiencing measurable discomfort that simple bowl replacement can resolve within days, transforming meal times from stressful events into pleasant experiences. Tomorrow's video covers the Jacobson's organ and the Flamen response, including how cats taste smells and the specific facial expression that reveals advanced sensory analysis. Subscribe to understand the vomeronasal sensing system unique to felines.